Converting measurements using proportions. Well, we've already looked at a couple of different ways of converting both metric and customary measurements. When we were doing customary measurement, we used the big G to convert pints and cups and quarts and gallons. In our metric unit, we used the mnemonic device King Henry to do various metric conversions. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. In this video, we're going to take a look at converting measurements using a proportion. Easiest way to do this is just dive right in. So here we're being asked to convert 8 1/4 miles into feet. So our two units are miles and feet. So we're going to start with what we know. Well, I know that in 1 mile there are 5,280 feet. And we know that we have 8 1/4 miles. Now what I like to do when I'm given a mixed number is actually convert it into a decimal. So rather than writing 8 1/4, I'm going to put 8.25 miles. What we don't know is how many feet is that. So I'm going to cross multiply. 1 times x would just be x. And then 5,280, I'm using a calculator here, times 8.25 would be 43,560. So 8 1/4 miles would equal 43,560 feet. Let's do another one. Here we're being asked to convert tons into pounds. So it doesn't really matter which one. I could put pounds on top or tons on top, doesn't matter. Well, let's start with what we know. Well, I know that in 1 ton there are 2,000 pounds. And we're given 2.5 tons. And we're being asked, how many pounds would that be? So, if I cross multiply, 1 times x is x. 2.5 times 2,000 is 5,000. So, 2.5 tons would equal 5,000 pounds. Let's try some word problems. Jill and Dana made 3 1/4 gallons of lemonade. How many cups did they sell? So I can see our two units right here. We have gallons and we have cups. So what do I know about gallons and cups? Well, I know that in 1 gallon there are 16 cups. And I see here in our problem that we're given 3 1/4 gallons. And I'm going to use, again, I'm going to convert that into a decimal. It's just a little bit easier, especially when you're using a calculator. And we want to know how many cups that would be. So I'm going to cross multiply. 1 times x is x. 3.25 times 16 equals 52. So how many cups did they sell? They sold 52 cups of lemonade. All right, let's try another one. Melissa made 164 fluid ounces of punch for a party. How many cups of punch did she make? Well, our two units are fluid ounces and cups. So I'm going to put fluid ounces on the top, I'll put cups on the bottom. So what do I know about fluid ounces and cups? I know that in 1 cup there are 8 fluid ounces. And I see here in our problem that we have Melissa made 164 fluid ounces, and we want to know how many cups would that be. So we've got to do a little bit more work on this one. 8 times x would be 8x. 1 times 164 is 164. So we've got a one-step equation. We divide each side by 8. Now 164 divided by 8 is not a whole number. It comes out to 20.5. So our answer then, how many cups of punch did she make? She made 20.5 cups of punch. All right, let's do one final problem. Now this one's interesting. Let me read it to you. Samantha bought a new dresser to fit next to her bed. The dresser is 73 centimeters wide. She only has room for a piece of furniture that's 25 inches or less in width. Will the dresser fit? Well, this is interesting because we're going to have to convert metric to customary or customary to metric, depending on how you want to solve this. And the two units in this problem, we have centimeters and we have inches. Well, let's start with what we know. We're given here that 1 inch is equal to 2.5 centimeters. So 1 inch is equal to 2.5 centimeters. So there are a couple different ways we could approach this problem. She has room for 25 inches or less. The piece of furniture needs to be 25 inches or less in width. Well, let's find out how many centimeters would that be. So we know 25 inches, and we want to know, well, how many centimeters is 25 inches equal to? So I'm going to solve this proportion. I'll do 1 times x is x. 25 times 2.5 is actually 62.5. So that furniture needs to be 25 inches is equal to 62.5 centimeters. Now this dresser that she bought is 73 centimeters wide. It's too big. It won't fit. The furniture needed to be 62.5 centimeters or less. So that's how you can use a proportion to convert various measurements.